I'm John Feely of Feely's Clutch, and you are watching Reptiles Unplugged.
This is Will Rose from Royal Canadian Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Guys, it's KB Reptiles.
Team Helga.
Team Beard.
And you're watching
Reptiles Unplugged.
It's Justin from Jacob Luck Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Nick with Renowned Reptiles here, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
It's your boy Harry Wayne from Royal Canvas Exotics, and you're tuning into Reptiles Unplugged.
You're Triple B, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Okay, well, here we go. Another Wednesday here. Super excited about this interview. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And as always, Joel here from State 48 Exotics, and my co-host here on my left or right. One day we'll figure that out. Adam, you can take it away from here.
What's up, everybody? Adam, BeachBumXotics. Happy to be here for another Friends Wednesday. And tonight we've got an awesome guest with us, somebody who I've known for a while now and really stoked that he was able to join us. I'll turn it over to him. So let us know who you are, my friend.
Hey, guys. It's Randy, Dark Cloud Reptiles. You know, I just got to start out saying, man, you two are ballsy getting me on the show. I mean, let's face it. I got a face meant for radio and a personality meant for silent film.
Well, I kept hearing I needed somebody to compete with the beard I've been putting on there, and right. So there it is.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I've been working on it. Yeah, I don't know. I might trim it, might not.
Nah.
Yeah, let that thing go, man. Let that go.
You know, I look in the mirror and every day I'm like, what the hell can you do with this? Like nothing. Just walk out. You know? You guys got up at 2:40 in the morning for work. I reach in my closet, I grab a shirt. Later that day, I look down to see what the hell I'm wearing. So,
right. Dude, it's working for you. It is working for you.
Dude, for sure. I feel you. Hey, I love the beard. It's less maintenance, actually. You know, you just kind of comb it out, and then boom, you're done. No shaving, no nothing. Love it.
Hey, if I could grow any more than what we have going on right here, I would for sure do it. But you know, this is what I got. It grows in like this. It just gives me that like perfect kind of white trash look, and I embrace it. You know.
That's your conquistador background, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what I'll do is when I do trim this, I'll send it to you, Joel.
Okay, so, yeah. I'll take that thing on there.
A little bit of Velcro, a little bit of hair. You're in there, man.
We can make this work.
What we do, Bobby, we can do any of this.
Absolutely, I agree.
Exactly. We had chat saying the beards are flavor savers.
Yep.
You guys have no idea how real that is. I had to trim it the other day. I'm doing a bathroom remodel, and I had to go find my trimmers because I'd walk around at work like 3 hours later. My mustache would be like a little like crispy. I'm like, the hell did I eat like 3 hours ago? And at this point, I can't even tell what it was anymore. So I'm like, yeah, it's got to trim, man.
A little bit of breakfast, a little bit of lunch mixed in. You know?
Got it all in there, man. Techniques, dude. It's the simple things, you know?
Yeah, I realize.
You, man. Mexican food, it stays with you for hours and hours.
Exactly.
I
knew it was getting out of control when I had to start going to the bathroom after I'd eat at a restaurant, literally washing my face just to get the food off.
Yeah, I've been there.
So Nick over at Renowned Reptiles gave a fun fact about Joel. He says that Joel has never shaved or trimmed his beard. True story.
This is day one growth here. I do no shave life, not no shave November. So this is that's all I got.
Oh man, we've really derailed.
We did, and as usual, I'm the one getting roasted. So it's fair enough.
Oh man. So Randy, everybody's been saying how much they love your hat. We've had a few people comment in chat that they love the hat, dude. I'm digging that right there. So Dark Cloud Reptiles.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's even a flex fit.
Yeah, actually, it is. I've had a couple different logos, and my business actually has had a couple different names. And I just decided now, I'm like, you know what? I need to get a new logo. My last logo, the guy who did it was kind of cool. And Facebook, we had a little poll what they thought, and they picked that logo.
Right.
It didn't work for me. I was like, yeah, Facebook might have thought it was cool. I didn't. So I got this new logo, and I decided, let's go. Shirts, hats, everything.
Awesome.
My shirts here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Shirt.
I like it. Uh-oh. Did we lose Randy? Uh-oh.
It's a cool still shot in where
if we were gonna pause it on anything, that would have been the best right there.
That's the moment we should pause it, actually.
Yeah, hey, that's where YouTube paused also. So there it is. So
yeah. All right.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the live stream tonight. That was Randy from Dark Cloud Reptiles.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot of topics that we haven't covered before on the show. So it's been really good.
Really good. Oh man, he hasn't disconnected from the Skype call yet, so he's still there.
Here we go. Per usual, we
per the usual
continue to have issues.
Like Chris Exit said. Oh, he just dropped out. There we go.
All right. Now I'm in full frame and out of focus. It's my worst angle. Okay, so we're gonna have to call. We're gonna have to call him back.
Let me add him back. I'll add him back right now. All right, there we go.
Yeah, like that was a really good freeze frame, though. I will say
it was. Yeah.
Excellent product replacement. Yeah. Excellent product for the shirts. Couldn't agree more.
You guys can hit Randy up on Facebook, Instagram, Gmail. Get your shirts, definitely. If you see him at a show, mention Reptiles Unplugged. He said he'd hook up a discount, possibly.
Yeah, they're free 99 for freezing on us. This is his repayment. Yeah, Porter. He never blinks. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, Giant Joel. I know. I just popped right up there too. All right.
Oh, I think we got him back.
All right. We don't have image though.
Hey, that's actually good for you guys.
Yeah.
It is awesome. We got your logo up there, so there's. Is there a camera button someplace? Let's see.
Yeah, there should be like a little camera logo that you can click on.
No, it's not. That's telling me the camera can't be used while in video.
Camera can't be used while
let's see.
Video. That's
I could
odd.
Let me try removing you again, and I'll call you back, Randy.
Okay.
All right. I'll give it another.
Well, in lighter news, think of some questions to ask Randy if we ever get this brought up again. This would be a good time.
There we go.
Oh, okay, just kidding. Don't think of those questions yet. Do that later.
Yeah, I told you guys you were going to break this with me. I hope you guys know what you're getting into. The first time you have actual glitches like that is with me.
Right.
Well, no, normally it's like me dropping out something crazy. So it's just par for course. You know what I mean? Here we are.
Yeah, standard protocol. Cameras aren't meant for video. Yeah, I agree, small town. Yeah, and technology is always it's so cool what we can do with technology. But I'll tell you what, once we start doing these live streams, what can go wrong always does go wrong. And we've been doing this, we're coming on a year now, right? Just over a year. And we literally, every single time, you would think we are so unprepared for this. But, what can you get? But, anywho.
And so When you dropped, Randy, that froze right on the logo, filling up the entire screen. So it just froze there for like 20 seconds. It was the best logo placement ad you could have.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, if I'm the screw, if I try to know, so
Oh, man.
meant by design.
What was that? What did you say, Randy?
That one is meant by design, you know?
Yeah, got it.
Exactly. Hey, but the Flex Fits hat, though, before we kind of dive into like, a little more about who you are and everything like that, I've been having a hard time finding Flex Fit hats for custom order. Were those insanely expensive, if you don't mind me asking?
You know, I think I'm actually into them about $22, and that's because I did the multicolor front and back.
Okay.
Not sure exactly where I got these. I'd have to take a look, and I'll let you know. But
Okay.
yeah, I want to say that hats themselves were like $12 each, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's roughly like the hats I had made. I think were like $22, just right around there. After all said and done. So.
Okay, so that's a really good price and for the Flex Fit because those I was having a hard time finding them. Kind of under that $25 to $30 mark for the custom logo on there and the embroidery on the back. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. I'd love to get some hats made too. I want one of your hats big time. So next Anaheim coming up, we'll do a little swap-a-rooney.
Yeah,
you got
there you go.
There you go. Heck yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to jump into some snake stuff, or
let's jump into some snake stuff. Kind of, let people know who you are. Like how we always kind of do, like an origin story, like for superheroes. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's the same, but it's cool because it's unique to you. So, let us know, I guess, how you got interested in reptiles, and then at what point did you decide to jump into breeding reptiles and everything like that.
All right. Well, man, I couldn't even begin to tell you when I started because I just don't keep track of stuff like that. Like, I smoked for many years. People ask you, when did I quit smoking? No idea, man. I put a cigarette out, I know I had ball pythons back in '93 because I remember having them at my work when I got out of the military and went in the motorcycle industry, and I had one there. I've been doing this a minute. I mean, my first incubator was a 10-gallon fish tank. And what we used to do is put a block, like a cinder block in the bottom, fill it up with water, use a glass tank heater, and we'd just get a little Tupperware container, put the eggs in there, and put saran wrap over the top. Obviously,
no kidding.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit. I mean, yeah. Crazy how far you go. I tell people to get started want to start breeding. I've got a really easy method to make an incubator out of an igloo cooler. Very simple. People can get a hold of me. Anyone who wants to know about that or anything else can message me, get a hold of me, come say hi at shows, and I'll tell them about it. Because, I've watched a lot of the evolution come and go.
Right.
I got into the balls, but then I was actually breeding bearded dragons back in probably the late 90s, early 2000s. And I think ball pythons actually stuck right around maybe 2005 is when I started actually getting them, collecting them, breeding them, and following through. So, yeah, I think that got a pastel for, God, I don't even remember how much it was. A lot.
Right.
But
Yeah.
That was my first morph way back when. So it's all I could afford.
And that would have been in 2005?
Yeah.
The pastel?
That was actually way back then. It was just a pastel female.
Right.
I got that buddy of mine, Mike Yakub, that he's got Reef and Reptile down here in San Diego. And
Mike's an awesome dude.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, you guys know him from the super shows.
Yeah,
and he does a lot of Arizona. And, really.
Yeah. I got a Blue-Eyed Lucy from him.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's got some pretty Blue-Eyed Lucy.
Yeah,
he produced. I picked one up he got from one of his buddies, and I used to do what was called borrow a pet. You could talk to Mike and ask him about borrow a pet. I'd go into his pet store, I'd grab the keys from him, I'd go walk back, I'd open something, grab an animal, and I'd just hold it up in the middle of the store. Mike, I'm taking this. He'd look like, yeah, whatever, and I'd walk out. 2 months later, tortoise back, and it was twice the size of every other tortoise because it wasn't fighting for food, and that just got to be a norm. I mean, I'd go in there and just, hey, I'm taking this, and the benefit of having a good friend owns a pet store. And actually, when I first started producing and doing shows, I did shows with him, and we would work his tables at the very first super shows, and I'd have my animals, and then I went off on my own. And after a couple of years of doing them on my own, John from Lane's Lab, the owner, approached me one time. I went to get my rodents from him, like $2,500, and he said, "Why don't you just bring your animal on my table?" So I'd say for the last 7 years or so, I've been with Lane's Lab and just talking to people there, have my animals on the table, and now I'm just going back out on my own again, which I probably should have done a while back. But it's going to be nice getting back out on my own, having more time to talk to people, not hustle around rats, and
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
totally. I think that's where I met you, was when you were vending with Lane Lab, maybe for one of the first times, in all honesty. Shoot, it's been, I don't know, I think probably about four years or so since you and I first started talking on the regular, I think, something around there. But, yeah. Then I saw
Our first actual talking was at one of the Repticons, because you guys were vending your first show, and Heather came up and was talking to me. I was like, well, she's so cool. So that guy she's with is kind of like an idiot.
So yes, okay, it's roast Adam time. I'm so pumped for this.
So you're like, if she's halfway cool, or he has to be halfway cool if he's with a cool chick like that. All right, I see how.
No, but it was pretty good. I just back for you, Joel. So I was trying to sell him a lavender albino breeder male and 2 het females.
Right.
And the one het female, if you remember, that thing gave me like 7 or 8 lavenders.
Yeah.
And I remember I tried selling it to him. I wanted him to have some, and he was on the fence, and I kept making, all right, I'll make it a little better. No, a little better. And I mean, man, it was so good at the end. He took it, and he left. I was like, why in the hell did you do that? That was stupid. But hey, I mean,
that was a killer deal, man. Yeah, it was 2 het, huge females in great shape, and a beautiful lavender boy. Both those females dropped for me this last season, and in total, between the 2 females, I think I wound up with like 11 or 12 visual lavenders out of those het females.
Dude, yeah. I didn't know that those came from Randy.
Yeah, the
great.
lavenders did, and what he's not telling people is a part of the deal also was that he got a visual lavender once I produced a clutch as well.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I kept coming down on the price, so I finally told him, I was like, all right, give me this and 1 female out of it. And he agreed. I was like, all right, cool. So, friendship, we started wheeling and dealing from the beginning.
Right.
For
like
sure.
it. I like that. That's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah, that's right. That was the first time we really started talking, when we were vending. That was a fun show. I almost cut off my finger at the end of the show when I was taking down my booth.
That sounds about typical.
Yeah.
It's always got to be something.
There's always something. Yeah. I walked over to the first aid station because, I mean, it was bleeding for a while and I had something wrapped around and was trying to apply pressure. It just wasn't quitting bleeding. So I went over to the first aid station, asked Rami. I was like, hey, any help over here for first aid stuff? No, it wasn't Rami. It's like the super show. It was, I forget. Anyhow, so they pointed me outside. I went and found somebody. They wrapped me up pretty good. So
I didn't even know about that, or I would have been teasing you about that all this.
Yeah. I was cutting down one of my signs, and dude just made a bozo move of like coming from the top down, which just jabbed it right into the finger. It was a stupid move, you know.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
That is
Sunday.
The worst.
Yeah, it was late Sunday. I wanted to get out of there. You know?
Gosh, I hate cutting my hands. Ugh, it's disgusting. I hate it.
So, Randy, you got into the ball pythons. You've been in it since pastels were like $40 million type of deal, right?
Right.
And, you know, so you've got to see really a lot of stuff come out in the progression of it. Over the time, what's some of your favorite morphs that you've seen that you either still work with or worked with and now don't?
Yeah, some standouts.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that continue to amaze me. And, you know, to me, more so than some of the newer stuff that comes out, it's the guys who grab a gene and they stick with it and show the potential of it. I mean, you know, I kick myself. I've always loved Xanthics, and I remember way back when making Xanthic spiders that were just gorgeous. And then I sold them. And now I'm kicking myself because now I need to go more Xanthic females. And, you know, I've done that a few times. I'll get something and I produce some things that are really cool. But then I think, oh, you know what? I want to go the other direction. And then I get rid of them. Xanthic will always be amazing to me. Just something about them, like the Xanthic clowns that I produced were just insane.
Yeah.
I can't think. You know, some of the stuff that like John Daig produces, it just, you know, it blows me away. Clowns. I remember when clowns first came out, we first started seeing some of the combos with them. Now you look at what Justin does, and I mean, the Pompeii and his whole magma project, all that. It's just, it's astonishing the colors that we're getting out of some of these animals now, just stacking a few different genes in the right order, you know?
Right.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, when I first kind of started collecting ball pythons as like, you know, okay, I'm going to be serious about this. You know, bumblebees and killer bees were like kind of the newest thing out, and they were really expensive still, nowhere near where like you know, you got in. And now I look at stuff and I'm so amazed because I still love the killer bee and bumblebee stuff, but there's things out like the highway project for me blew me away when I saw the first highways pop out.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe that, you know, and there again, that's kind of sticking with it. That morph in its base gene doesn't look like much of anything. Looks almost like a normal, right? I mean, and I know you've kind of done that with a few things. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or maybe down the line. But you know, sticking with stuff and proving it out. You have a gene yourself. I don't know if you want to talk about it right now or wait, but
yeah, you know, well, first of all, going back and talking about that, you know, when you see a gene and it might look like a normal to most people. I mean, everyone has to realize, I mean, I haven't been on World of Ball Pythons in a while now. I mean, there's 25,000 combos, and those are just the ones that have been registered. I mean, these all started from a handful that they found in the wild. And then from that, everyone's going on, adding new genes and seeing things. You got to remember, every single recessive, for the most part, started as hets. Right. I mean, you find the gene, which, you know, so, okay, Adam touched on mine, the one I call the OF-Y. So I actually got the original snake sold to me as normal, and I got it and I looked at it and I'm like, man, there's just, you know, the person that sold it to me thought it was a normal. And this is a guy that I bought I bought my very first bumblebee. I had to make payments, and then it got to be wintertime. So I went from one snake. I paid it off quick, and so I just kept adding snakes and adding snakes. And next thing I know, I got 7, 8 snakes he's shipping. So he goes, well, you want a couple big norms? Like, yeah, why the hell not?
Right.
So I got, I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? This thing looks like it's light. The pattern's just a little different. I'm like, maybe it's an ugly fire. So my first season, I bred it to fire, and I figured that's it. I'm going to determine what it is. If I make black-eyed leucisticus, I know it's a fire.
Yep.
Well, what came out like deserts, and it really threw me because we bought a desert. We bought in the very beginning. I think our desert was right around $10,000, and a couple of the first morph combos with desert, but we were too smart. Could have sold it. We had a female desert firefly. Could have sold it for like 12 grand. Nah, we're too smart. Let's hold on to that. The $10,000 one was given away free with the tank and everything to a buddy for his daughter. I think the world's first desert firefly female sold to another friend for $200 with a tank and everything. So
yeah,
that was my way. But you know, the OFY, I mean, it's just believing something. I mean, it's seeing something in an animal and taking your time to prove it out, which, you know, the first step is prove it out that it's genetic, breed it to anything, and make some of the like animal. From there, you'll want to try to breed 2 siblings together and see if there's a recessive, see if there's a super, see what you're even working with. And then from there, you try other genes. Now, you know, with the OFY, mine's taken a long, long time because I try to do it a safe way and single gene animal. That way I could distinguish what it was. You throw it to a 4-gene animal, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. And it worked, other than the fact I had a few problems. When I first moved into this building, being coastal, I had no AC. Building was 95 degrees for a week. I had Brant Rustich from, used to own Major League Reptiles, was down here sounding snakes one day. And yeah, it was 95 degrees. I lost all my clutches for 2 years because they reabsorbed, slugged out.
Wow,
you know, I've had an incubator issue. So it's taken me a minute to try to catch up. But here, let me show you here really quick. So this is the Fire OFY clown. And I just love this.
wow, man. That looks amazing.
Out. I mean, it just, it blew me away when I saw it. And that's all that's in this is just Fire, OFY, and clown.
Can you tilt the back towards the camera a little?
Rotate it up. Yeah.
Towards us.
Other way.
Opposite way.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, man, look at that back pattern right there. Holy cow.
That's crazy. That almost has like inchy, super inchy kind of look to it with the breaking.
And it's so clean. It's kind of like Desert Ghost.
That's what I was
almost,
gonna say.
right?
It has like a Desert Ghost-esque look to it.
Super cool, man.
Now, see, you guys say that. Let me show you another animal.
I can't wait. This is awesome. Yeah, OFY. Interesting.
So cool. And I love how Randy was touching on, you know, the way he developed his project. I think that's important and something that you maybe don't hear a lot. Ooh, what's this one?
So now this thing, it's really hard to tell, but this is basically just a OFY firefly. But the thing about it is, the look of it is almost like a desert ghost.
Right.
The total opaque look of hypo, but and this thing does not have the sheen of a regular. And just this gene keeps amazing me because it keeps doing different things every time I would breed it. And, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, it's a cleaner gene. Like, well, yeah, I've heard of one of those that has kind of caught on, the Orange Dream. And
kind of.
if you look at some of the stuff this does, let me just show you another one. Oh, one say, yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple people that have bought into the OD complex.
I don't know. Some guy named Ozzy, I think, made it. I have no idea
never
what
heard
he
of him,
is.
but
Never heard of him. Sounds sketchy. Watch out.
Yeah.
So if you look at this animal, it's like looking at the dorsal patterns. Let's see if it's going to bite me now. But this is just strictly an OFY lesser. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Really?
Holy cow. Look at all that floating and how it cleans up the belly right there.
On the neck too, it looks like it almost has like a clown-esque like down the neck pattern just behind the head.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, the things that these do. And once again, I'm still learning this gene. I've got others, and it just starts once again by somebody finding an animal and just believing it. I mean,
Right.
anyone can get a snake and see something that you think it could be something, and just take your time, prove it. You don't have to rush out and buy the latest and greatest thing or try to follow somebody. Just, you know, look at I don't know, you guys ever heard of Justin Kubilka?
No, who's
You'll have to send me a link.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's this guy. He just plays around with genes, and usually if he makes something with them, I mean, done. They're like 10. Seriously, I want to give him the normal and see if normal prices go up. You know, you look at the way the story goes, and he believed in the red stripe, and he kept with it, and look what he produced. And then now the funny thing is, now you get guys out there selling. I just saw someone had a Firefly red stripe het hypo male for $2,000. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I couldn't give that to me a year ago.
Right.
You know, Gulf Coast, they had the vanilla. And they were in the same position. They couldn't give vanillas away. And then some first vanilla cream, and there you go.
Absolutely.
It took off. So, you know, that's my advice for anyone starting out is if you have something, stick with it. It doesn't hurt. I mean, you might hit something incredible, you might not, but either way, it's a journey.
Yeah, and you're working it and learning about it. We've had a lot of questions from chat. So in all of your experimentation with OFY, have you discovered if it's incomplete dominant, or recessive?
Well, you know, at first, when I tried to make the first clutch to find out if it had a super, that's when the incubator failed, and I animals, and the first one I thought was a super. That's actually how I named it, because I was calling it my special fire because I knew it was a fire. It's the one that looked like deserts, but I didn't know what it was. And my buddy, the late Tom Baker, had the special gene. So obviously it was never going to be that. I just didn't know what to call it. And
right.
So I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, all right, if I cut this and I see something really freaking just blows my mind, what's the first thing I'm going to say? Oh, fuck yeah. I was like, that's it, man. OFY. And it was that. I mean, it just blew what I had. I couldn't even describe it. But it was, and so I was thinking that was the super. And Now, like I said, I've had a few other trials and tribulations, and because of the fact I was trying to do just single genes to play with it, like what it did with Spider is it really tribaled it out. Way cool. But now I'm just realizing that it's got granite mixed in. So now I'm trying to separate
the granite out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Man, super cool. I cannot wait to see more of that because, obviously I follow your social media and I've seen you pop some stuff out there, and that's a really promising gene, man. I cannot wait until you decide to release them. You haven't released any, right? I guess I should start with that question.
Yeah, that was a question. Do you have any for sale?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't gotten any out yet. They've all stayed in my building, just mainly because of the fact I kind of want to watch the project. I mean, it's my baby. I almost sell some to a guy a couple months ago. I think I might have told you about it. It was $26,000 for a couple of, and then I backed out. I was like, I need to wait and see. I had a buddy of mine, Art Zaros, who I do some Motley projects with, and that he told me, he's like, man, you just got to breed it to something badass and make a big show animal, because all these animals I'm showing people are like 2 genes, and people are going, wow, ooh and awe. So what's going to happen when I make that bigger one? So I do have a fire OFY hat clown that I bred to, I think, like a 3 or 4 gene clown male. So we'll see. Knock on wood, man. Hopefully here in a couple months I'll get some eggs. Yeah, let's see.
Chat is loving the name right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's
your
like,
answer for will you sell is OFN.
Right?
I gotta tell people out there that don't know me. I mean, first of all, I'm a veteran, so I got that military behind me. I'm trying to be very clean because there might be kids that watch. But I guess you could say I'm colorful. And I don't have a filter and I don't hold stuff back. So it could be good, it could be bad. I mean, yeah.
Very
it is
true.
what it
Randy's the only guy I've ever met that precedes you actually meeting him with him telling you he may offend you in the first 5 seconds. So like, before you've even exchanged names, he just tells you right off, I may offend you right off the bat.
I come with the disclaimer. I'm not for the weak at heart. I know from like you interviewing other people, you ask like their superpower. Man, I can offend people and I hope everybody knows it's fun and games. I mean nothing by it. Honestly, if I hurt someone's feelings, I feel bad because that's not what I'm here for. I just, even if it makes me look bad, I just like to joke around. I like to get people laugh. I mean, Adam, first thing I said to you yesterday morning, starting our conversation.
What are you wearing?
You know what? The record, he lied to me. He said he was only wearing sandals. He wasn't.
Sounds about right.
The scary thing is he made me prove it. So
you try to be bold, I'm gonna call you out. What can I say?
Right. I like it. I like your head's at.
No, that's what I've loved about Randy from day one meeting him, talking about morphs. That's one thing too, Randy, is while you are like a no filter type guy, you're a very straight shooter, you're also super down to help people that, obviously you're not just giving everything out on a silver spoon. People have to do their research too, but once they start talking to you, you're down to help, right? And I've always loved that about you. Like if I ever had a question, about something, or hey, maybe is this a good idea or not? You've always been there. Puzzle genes, one of the biggest deals that you pulled me into, hooking me up with a good breeder at the time. So, I appreciate that with you and I, so you didn't hoard it, right? And you didn't keep that information for yourself. You're very open, I like
absolutely.
that. Yeah. So I know a lot of people have been asking about the puzzle gene in chat, and I don't know, maybe this is a good time. Everybody loved the OFY, but I know people want to hear what you have hiding back there with the puzzle stuff. If maybe you're willing to share a few key projects that you have coming up with the puzzle project.
Yeah, well, the puzzle, I mean, first of all, I mean, I've known Sean for years, and he came up with this amazing gene. Luckily, I am blessed to be able to say I've got a really good friend, Maki from Pacific Coast Reptiles. I
That's
love
who
her
you
to
have
death.
Yep.
Yeah, she is one of the greatest people that I know. And she got me into the puzzles. She made me some deals. She pretty much sells me almost all of her puzzle stuff.
Right.
Just because I'm a whole and I get to them. And, yeah, I love the puzzle gene. And, unlike a lot of people, I'm an open book. I'm not going to hide what I'm doing, or that's not me. I mean, there's people that do this for a living. That's their sole job. And they have to charge more. They have their entire life invested in this. And, so for people that see a good example, that unknown guy, Justin, I told you about, when he makes an animal, he doesn't tell people what's in it. And some people get upset about that. And, they have to understand that's this guy's livelihood. This is what he does for a living. Right. He has to protect it. I mean, when people do these animals, they need to realize it's like a paint and it's a blank canvas. Not everyone's going to paint the same thing. You need to paint what you want. That goes back to where I say, find a gene, find something you believe. And, with the puzzle, that's been my biggest thing. I mean, let's see last year at Tinley, I think I made Marshall over in Nelco. If you remember, I made his day. I walked up to his table, I looked, and I said, I'll take them all. Gave him $28,000. And I got the triple het hypo puzzle pies from it, and they're breeding right now. I'm crossing my fingers, my toes, everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people out there like Will. We all know he's got a lot of stuff that people don't know. And, he's a great guy. And I hope he hits stuff before me. I hope he hits stuff I don't, and then I get to hit it. There's no rivalry. I want everyone I do this for myself, and which everyone should. Absolutely. Unless you're doing this as your sole living, you've got to love it. I mean, back to another good example. I could have got into the GHI right away. Early on, I had a friend of mine said, hey, give me a few females and I'll breed this GHI male to. And I said no, because at the time, I didn't like GHIs. Right. I only liked things. I wanted stuff that just popped, yellows, oranges. And yeah, it would have made me a lot of money. But it's like I said, every time I opened the drawer, I'd be like, oh, man, you're so ugly, but you're making me money. Right. And how can you get excited about something that is just a dollar sign? Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, puzzles, I love them. And yeah, I've got a lot of different things I'm trying. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm a little hoarse. I hatched out the double het puzzle clowns, and I hatched 5 females, the pastels, and I kept all 5 for myself. I did letting John Dyer. I traded him a female for a female, but yeah, other than that, I've gone all in. I'm doing 3 and 4 gene recessives, and
with the puzzle complex, like with
right.
Yeah.
Now people are asking, have you put OFY into puzzle yet? Have you done any any pairings there?
No, I haven't, because what people need to realize is if it did hit something and it's amazing, it would be great. But at the same time, if I breed it and I don't know, I have to keep all those animals back. I can't get rid of them. And it's just like with leopard and puzzle. I wasn't sure how that would work, so I wasn't really doing anything. And then I saw one, and it's beautiful. So with the OFY, since it's still new, I'm trying to figure out exactly everything it does with different morphs, because when I do sell them, I don't want to lie to anybody. I want to know the animal.
Right.
If I sell you an animal, then, I mean, you guys realize, you go look at my morph market. I give a 30-day health guarantee on an animal, because that's the way it was when I started.
Right.
You stay your animals, and I don't want to produce something that all of a sudden is crazy, and then people want to buy it, and it turned out to be a fluke. So
Right.
there, I mean, it's a long race. It's not a sprint. So
yeah. Marathon.
I like that's a good kind of comparison, right? It's a long race, not a sprint, and sprinting there is so short-sighted, right? Like, there's nothing worse than somebody investing a bunch of money, with a project that you're working and you haven't fully proved it out, and then things change within a year or two. I would rather be more confident, like you're saying, know what I'm putting out there and what it is and how it interacts with certain things. That takes years, man. And that's what people don't realize. That's why these new morphs are tens of thousands of dollars. It's all the time you're putting in right now. All that hard work of, well, I'm going to take it over here and do this.
Right.
Well, that's a couple years until we get to see the results of that pairing, right? Growing down to adulthood, right? It all starts adding up. Before you know it, you've got 12 years under your belt in one project that you didn't even know would work or not. That's.
And you got to remember, you're working with animals. I mean, right. I've got females. I mean, everybody wants a female that breeds in 2 years, and I've had one. I've got females that are 5-6 years old, and I look at my records and I'm like, wow, I haven't got a clutch, and look how old they are.
Right.
And then, you have that problem depending on what you do. If I start selling stuff too early, then somebody has it and they've ruined the project for the investment somebody else put in. And this is a long-term deal if you're in for it. I mean, there's been guys that have come in and made some money really quick and got out. For one example, I talked about Major League Reptile. He came in, threw a bunch of money in, made a bunch of money, and got out. Right. And that's fine if it's what he's going to be in there for. And there's other people like that. There was a guy, his name was Kristen. I always mess up his name. Glada, something like that. All I can tell you is he's a douchebag. And I'm not going to talk to anyone really, except for this guy. He's a piece of crap. So, my buddy who I do a lot of breeding with, like where you say how I'm helpful, I've had a couple people that help me out. My buddy Ivan does all the shows with me.
Yeah.
And then
Ivan's a great guy.
Yeah. Cool. Michael is very smart. He knows a little bit of everything. And so he ended up getting a snake from this guy. And long story short, it was quarantined and everything. He started breeding it, and it ended up with a new disease that no one had in ball pythons. So
we spent
$12,000 in vets, sending them off to Daytona, getting them
cultured and all that.
Having them look at it and try to distinguish exactly what it was. We lost a bunch of snakes. I had some of my snakes in his collection and quarantined, so I was out breeding for a year with them at least. And it turned out to be mycoplasma because someone just in trying to get some money really quick. They had tortoises and that, and then just not cleaning their hands and transfer it. My neighbors loved me. I every day I had to go to his house, which was like 35 miles away. I'd get in there. I'd give injection. I had to give an actual tracheal tube down the snake's throat and inject medicine directly in its stomach, breathing treatments, and see these poor animals die because he was out of the country. And then I'd have to drive home, and then I'd strip to my underwear in my front yard because I refused to go. I had animals. Yeah, so my neighbors there for about a good month just got used to seeing me strip to my underwear every day. So
Hey,
5:30. Come inside. Randy's about to strip. Everybody inside.
Here he comes.
Wait for me anymore. They look at me like I'm the freaking elephant man. Like, but yeah. So some of those guys, I mean, they came in quick, and this guy, he was telling Michael, I'll make it up. I'll give you some money for the vet bills. They never came in. Then he said, I'll give you some snakes and all that. Never came in. And finally, I told him what I thought about it. And I said, you're making all these animals you're selling. And his excuse was what I have in my collection. I'm like, yeah, well, you don't know what he lost. This poor guy who's out all this money and all these snakes. So, there's both people that come in just for money.
Yeah.
Like, the newest one out there had been Miguel. He came in like a whirlwind. But you know what? That guy's in for all the right reasons. I mean, he goes to all the different shows and he gives back. So
tremendously, yeah.
Yep.
You have to look at each person at face value, like what they're for, what they're in it for. And the people that just want to make money and get out, hey, power to them if that's what they want to do, as long as they're doing it safe. They're not doing this other guy who got animals sick, killed other animals in people's collections. And
his only excuse was, well, I invested this much in it, so I got to pull it out. Like, man, it's so irritating to hear because, first of all, we're dealing with living animals. We're not dealing with some dry good materialistic product, right? You know what I mean? And gosh, sometimes it just really irritates me when you hear stories like that. But it's good to talk about because we all need to be aware, right? Like that stuff does exist within all animal trades. It's not unique to ball pythons or reptiles in general. That's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, even puppies, right? They all seem the same, or cats. You better watch out who you're getting some of these animals through, because there's really unethical breeders that, people that do bad things in those industries too. So
scummy people of everywhere. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so thanks for coming on and kind of sharing your experience, man, because you've had lots of years in this. I mean, you've been through everything, doing injections and putting tubes down snakes' throats just to try and help them out the best they can. Like, that's above and beyond what a lot of people would really be willing to do. So thanks for sharing your experiences here with us, man.
Yeah. Robert was saying they're not baseball cards. We're not trading baseball cards here.
Yeah, we have to remember that, right? Because it's easy to lose sight of it when you've got all of these names and
Genes and the new hip thing and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody, they want what's cool and they see something they really like, but yeah, you just got to make sure how you do it. You do it ethically, you do it right. And like you said, they're not trading cards, they're animals. You take care of them the best you can. And some of them are going to die. And you don't know why. When people say, why did it die? I'm like, I always tell them the same thing. I don't know. We were just talking last night,
Right.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, it's just like when people get all up in arms over mice. It's going to happen. It could happen from any which way, but it's how you handle them. How you move forward. Like, I see people that have found out like they had mites or they had this or that, but then they won't go tell people that they've given snakes to. I mean,
Right.
it's just different than if you got an STD and you don't go tell your partner. It's
Very true.
It's the same thing. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the same thing.
it really is. Yeah. Yeah, very true. It's about how you
Integrity,
handle it
man.
going forward. Yeah, not being too prideful, right? Like you were saying, like things like this happen. It's a learning experience. Be honest about it. Move forward. Always do what's best for the animals and for you and everything like that. And that's how you move forward, right? Like hiding things is only going to make it worse in the long run,
100%. Yeah. Acting with integrity will always pay off, in my opinion.
Well, hiding things just makes it so more people aren't going to know how to deal with it. I mean, if something happens to you, just like that with the mycoplasma, that was new. But if people don't hear it, how many animals will die because somebody does just go and speak up to what happened? I mean, there's a big difference from responsible and taking care of something and sharing with others and hiding it, deceiving people. And that's where the problem.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all experiences and everything like that. Man, Randy, you have so much good info. I just looked down at the clock and it's already almost 7 p.m. It's about 1 minute away here. So shifting gears kind of out of a little bit of what we were talking, what's your most anticipated clutch this year coming up with ball pythons? And then, we'll do that first.
Yep.
Well, definitely that the next OFY clown. I mean, that's big. Now, like I said, now that Art has convinced me, just go for something big, a show animal, and figure out what all's in it later. We'll see. That's going to be something big for me. Then, of course, with my puzzles, I mean, I just had to buy another Freedom Breeder rack because I've got 40-some puzzles now. I need to get them in their own rack. So.
Oh, my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right. So everybody knows, just keep watching Dark Cloud Reptiles Facebook to see all the awesome puzzles he's not selling to anybody. Right. He's hoarding them.
Right. There's some hoarders in here. We got you and Will. Man, there's some stuff going on here.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. I'll get rid of them, but I got stuff I want to make for me. So I have to hold back the females now. And, the males I'll end up letting go. I got some het males that as soon as I produce a visual of either sex, I'll let them go. And, we'll see. I mean, I'm here pretty soon. I'll probably start selling either next season or the after proven breeder puzzle females because I'll have my stock up of what I need next. So,
Yeah, that's cool, man.
He forgot to add he's selling them to me. So that was the last part of that sentence that cut out for anybody that didn't hear. His breeder puzzle females are coming here.
Right.
You never know. They just might. I mean, you've already you've got a super inchy and a super orange dream of mine that hopefully those are going to be going soon. But I mean, people know, like John over at John's Jungle, it's a good friend of mine. He's got 20 of my breeder females right now. And, I don't hoard everything so I could just make everything in the world. I'll give some of my females, if I don't have a plan, just like with you, I'll send them out there just so I could get some cool animal back and you get cool animals. My friend Ashley with my satin project, I've sent all of it up to her and pretty much just told her, you run the project and let's see what you can do. That way I can focus on my puzzle stuff and somebody else gets to be in to make something cool that no one else has.
For sure, man.
Right.
Yeah. And that is what I love about you. Like, I got this female over here. All right, you've got a really cool male. Hey, how about like we do this breeder loan? And some people get real like, well, my female was better than your male, or I put more into this. you've always been really cool about the whole thing. Like when you and I did the pastel sugar to my sterling puzzle, it was real easy, and this is a warning also to people: know who you're getting involved with before you take steps like that, right?
Yes.
Because it doesn't always work out good. But Randy's a cool guy. Him and I work well with each other, so it all worked out great. And we were able to produce a couple snakes that both you and I held back, and then we sold everything else, and that was great. You know what I mean? It worked out great for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really got to watch out. I mean, I know back when I started, I mean, there's boys clubs now, just like there were boys clubs back then. And you had to be one of the cool kids to be in it and everything. And when I started, it was always just that. Whoever had the most expensive snake got the first pick.
mhm.
And always hated that. You get 5 snakes, one's worth 10,000 and 4 are worth 1,000. So you're telling me somebody gets 12 and somebody gets $2,000 in snakes and they're good with that?
Right.
I always say breeder loan, it takes 2 snakes. So you split the clutch 50-50. And if there's, an extra animal or something, the person that did all the work gets it. I mean,
Yep.
I've done a lot of breeder loans, and God, I am not good at them because I don't ever take the first pick. I always let my friends take whatever the prize animal was because, it's, I
Yeah.
don't know. It hasn't really mattered to me. It's like I tell people, I try to stay good with everyone, and until you screw me over. I've been screwed over by a lot of people, but that's why you see a lot of people walk on the other side of the aisle when they see me going at shows.
Right.
So,
Right. And
Yeah.
and that's that's an attribution to them, not you. So
Yep.
if that's how they're going to do business, it doesn't ever look good for them, and you're still great.
Yep. And this clutch that Randy and I did. Good.
I'd say just because someone screws you over, you got to remember there's a lot of good people out there. So if you let somebody screw you over, sour you, that reflects on you, not them, because you're choosing how you treat the person. So, just chalk it up, man. Everything I do now, I look at who I'm dealing with before I deal with them. And I'm going to let other people sour me just because, they turned out to be crap. And you got good people. Look at Adam. I mean, you're one of my favorite people, and all started out trying to get you those lavenders, and where come from that. So, yeah.
Dude, for sure. And, speaking about your Super OD, I threw the Sterling puzzle in there with her earlier, and they were all cuddly. So hopefully tonight some magic will happen.
Oh, gross.
Dude, could you imagine? Everything at
So,
minimum. Pastel OD.
It's hemipines and started using them.
Yeah, dude, me too. Yeah, so that story is funny. So Randy, I sent my Sterling puzzle down to Randy for like a good, I don't know, he was with you for probably 6 months or more. I mean, maybe even longer. Yeah. Like he went from being 500-600 grams to close to 1,000 over at Randy's place. So like there was a good amount of time, right? He would not touch another snake's sexual parts at all. Like he was just opposite ends of the tub, you trying different things. So finally Randy and I were talking. I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. Maybe we just pull him up here and I'll take one of the females he was breeding down at you and we see if it works. And sure enough, just that change kicked him in gear,
Right.
Now he's finally doing what he's doing. So
Hey, ball pythons are like that. I mean, I always Michael, the feeding ninja. If I couldn't get something to eat, I'd give it to him and he'd get it. But then ironically, like he'd have a snake that only ate mice. It came down to my place and took a rat the
very first time.
Yeah.
So, it's just weird. I mean, I know like Oz and Brian say, take him for a car ride, but
yeah. Who knows? There was a car ride from San Diego up to Ventura that maybe it kicked it in.
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah, new scenery, new smell.
Right. Exactly.
Changes it up. They're comfortable now.
Yep.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So we need to, I think, kick in the lightning round right now, and then maybe
Yes.
shift to some chat questions and things like that. So, Randy, we did pre-warn you. We have a lightning round, but are you prepared, my friend? Are you prepared?
All right. Think who you're talking to. Are you prepared?
Very true. Very true. Oh no.
Yeah,
Do we abort tonight? Do we abort?
Yeah, right. Luckily, these are pretty PG. So
Let me really quick, just so I can get a little bearing to answer these questions. All right, go. What do you guys got?
All right. Lightning round. Assuming you know how this works. So we got 5 questions and then a unofficial 6th question there at the end. But would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska?
Oh crap! I think I'd probably rather go to Alaska because I've never been there. I've been to Hawaii like 11 times. So
Right.
yeah,
Fair
it would be
enough.
kind of.
Alaska's gorgeous, man. Never been
Alaska's
there, so I
great.
know what I'm talking about. But looks gorgeous. Okay. What's your favorite candy?
Probably like Kit Kat, Reese's, or Snickers. One of those.
Yeah. Okay. You got a top 3. That's good.
I'm Chuck.
Right. Yeah. No. Fair enough. So, bath or a shower guy?
Shower.
Yeah. Okay. You're not a
Nobody likes
candle,
sitting in their
candle
own
and
filth.
shower, bath guy.
In the shower, I can keep my eyes facing forward and I don't freak myself out.
Logic. I love it.
I won't take that one step further. We'll just do next.
Okay.
Where'd it go?
Number 4. All right. So this is a fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is blank.
Say it, Randy. Say it.
Yeah, that's kind of tough because
Say
this
it,
is
Randy.
like PG kids watching. God, I'd freaking bang her like a screen door. Like, yeah. I mean, what do you want? PG.
Yeah. No, that ship has sailed.
I had to earmuff Loki. Earmuffs Loki. Earmuffs. No.
It happened. What can I say?
Okay. All right. So switching gears to number 5. Are you a boxers or a briefs kind of guy?
Actually, boxer briefs.
Okay, you're a hybrid. Yeah. There we go. All right.
And that's why Robert's on right now. He said, "Oh my God, Dad," in chat.
Fair enough.
And I have to go explain the whole Taylor Swift.
Okay, so now we have our last question is are you a button fly guy or a zipper jeans guy? I guess would be the next and final.
Oh,
God.
I like Will, but maybe not dude. It's button flies were cool in like junior high and all that. 501. It's got to be a zipper.
Well, some of us can't grow facial hair, and we're still stuck in junior high. So
It happens, man.
I now see the correlation. So,
I remember this, Joel. No one's gonna unbutton and have a little part saying "Lucky you."
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess that pretty much nails it.
Now that you guys are
well,
real
that was.
thought,
Yeah, but more buttonfly slander coming on. Yeah, elegant anomaly.
Right. Shane, even 501 sucked even when they were cool.
Dude, that's what I got. I have 501s, man.
yeah, like I said, junior high, they were cool. So, okay. Hey, look on the bright side, Joel. Give it another 5 years and you'll be balding. So
Yeah.
you'll have even more to hold on to.
Yeah, right. I can just keep it going, man.
Joel is such a good sport. We razz on him every week.
Yeah. Yeah, correlation does not equal causation. I like that, Daniel. Thank you for that.
Very true.
Okay, so this is that segment of the day where we steer away from me and we start going to chat. I know there was a couple questions we had in chat that maybe we had missed, but if anybody has some questions for Randy, I am sure he is ready to answer. Randy, something I really want to talk about too that you kind of mentioned before is like sticking to the genes. I think that's a really cool idea, and you're talking about Justin seeing those genes out. That's just, that's a cool subject we had talked about. So I think that's something to really take away from what we were talking about earlier, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Beachbum
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
Go ahead.
No. You first. Sorry.
I'm just saying, definitely. When you guys go to shows, whoever you are out there, look for what speaks to you. And I tell this to everyone that comes to my table is, I don't need to sell an animal so bad that I have to force you into a sale. Go find what speaks to you. And if it's $100 more than you thought, you're going to have this animal. I've got snakes here for 20 years old. And well, get what speaks to you. Find a gene. If you're going to breed, find something you believe in. And do that. There's a lot of guys out there that are making their name on a certain gene. So do it. Find what you believe in. Don't chase somebody else. I love Justin, things he makes and all that, but man, by the time you go buy a red stripe pet clown, or you go buy a red stripe and breed it to a clown, you're going to make your red stripe clown when they're $500.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Go find something you can, and then buy a red stripe clown from him for $5,000 and make something over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. And just knock it out of the park. See things that nobody's seen before, and that's where it's. That's what I like doing. I mean, I like seeing stuff for me, not for the masses. So I think that's a cool lesson to learn, and you'll never be disappointed that way either.
Yeah. Right.
No,
yeah. Exactly.
I know the guys could probably use the help from Oz, Justin, John Daig. Anyone? Look at John Daig. Oh my God. He breeds snake keeper exanthics. If you think of SK exanthics, you don't think of snake keeper. You think of JD constriction. What does that tell you? It's like when the pupil becomes the teacher.
Right.
Yeah, find what you believe in and go for it.
Absolutely.
Dude, sure.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like you were saying, chasing somebody, you're always going to be behind them, right? Like that's the nature of chasing somebody, right? So why not try and put your own spin on it that is either in an opposite direction or a different, just different direction that they're going. You're going to be happier yourself once you find it, right? Everything's not meant to be a success. So failures are sometimes better than successes because they're teaching you something major that you didn't know before. You can move past it,
Yep.
Yeah. So Heather wanted to know. What was that?
No, I just said exactly.
Yeah. So kind of going back to OFY stuff, Heather wanted to know, while she was looking at some of the snakes, in your opinion, what's the difference between OFY and Desert Ghost? What are some of the differences you've seen?
Well, the desert ghost is completely different. I mean, it
Right.
only comparison I have to desert ghost with OFY is the fact that, like I said, there's some of them that it takes away the luster of sign of the animal. Because if you go look at a hypo and you look at a desert ghost, you can see there's a difference. The hypo is definitely very matte hypo. The desert ghost cleans it up. Of course, it does some more with the pattern, but it's kind of an in between as far as the appearance, in between, say, a normal and a hypo. And that's just one of those things I've noticed with the OFY is, like the desert ghost, it does that. Now, the ghost cleans it up a lot more, where the OFY, I had noticed it had a lot of speckling in it. And now I'm just realizing that could be the granite influence. So there is a chance that the OFY does do a lot of the similar things of their ghost, but not in recessive.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Good explanation, man. Thank you. Because, yeah, it's one thing when learning new genes. I kind of silo them into these areas, right? Like color, pattern, enhancing, and then sometimes you have few that bleed into multiple. So when I hear about a new gene or see somebody kind of putting a new combo out, I try and break it down like that for myself. So it catalogs it in the old bean up there. So
Yeah.
And I mean, me and you have talked about it, Adam. I've thought about doing videos and highlighting animals, and I don't know. I mean, everyone out there watching it, if you'd like to see me make videos and highlight animals and talk about them, out there, say something. Let me know on Instagram. Let me know on my Facebook, and maybe I'll do that. I mean, I've been kind of staying away from it only because, like, Facebook, I only went there because in this day and age, you have to. I was always against Facebook because it didn't matter where I was eating lunch or anything else. And
Right.
now, I mean, you guys have had to put up with me for an hour and a half. So if you guys want to see different animals, then maybe I'll start doing a few videos and describing a lot of these animals in more depth.
Yeah.
I've been telling you, man, I really think you do need to get in front of the camera. You've got some really cool stuff over there. You're good. I like listening to you talk. You have a fun way of explaining things. I think videos would be a really natural progression for you. I think you do excellent at it.
Absolutely.
And I even told you I'd come down and I could help you shoot some stuff, right? Randy, actually, all of this great lighting that you guys are seeing on my beautiful face here is from lights that Randy gave me shoot like 2 years ago, I think, if not over that. He gave me a whole pack of studio lights. So, man, I need to get down to your place and let's do a video. Let's put it up.
Yeah, heck yeah. That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, and for everyone who doesn't know, the reason you have all those lights is because I started to take pictures of snakes and I realized I couldn't take good pictures. So I got a little light box. Still couldn't take good pictures. Studio light.
Right.
I bought a Sony camera and like $1,000 Sony camera. Still took crappy pictures. So of course it had to be the frickin' camera. So I bought a $2,000 camera and more lights. I take them, and so of course, I mean, here, take those lights. You'll use them. I don't know. I'm really trying those instructions. Like, it's just only the IKEA ones has enough pictures for me.
Right. I get it.
The weird little autonomous guy like doing whatever he's doing over there. Oh man. No, I appreciate it. So thank you. So all you guys have to reach out to Randy and tell him thanks for letting Beach Bum use his lights. They've been helping out massive over here.
Well, we've had roughly 77 people say you need to do videos. So I think that's your all call.
There you go, Randy.
To do that.
Yep.
Man, I had no idea that my 8 meetings had that many people in there. It's crazy.
So I know we've talked about it a few times, but Randy, if somebody does want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Instagram, Facebook, what's your info?
Either Facebook, Instagram, people can get a hold of me. On my Facebook is my personal cell number. You can text me. And, I'm a busy guy. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I tell people, shows, come up and talk to me, man. I'll be there. Come on up, say hi. You have questions. That's what I'm there for, right?
Absolutely.
I don't have to sit and try to pressure people to buy snakes. I'm there to have fun and talk.
And that's
Randy's
what
there to party.
Yeah, there to party.
Restaurants, and then all of a sudden the lights go down and it's look at a jackass. Somebody told him it was my birthday. Oh yeah, I was just come out and jump on the table and yeah. Good time.
Yeah, so we'll have to save that for one of Randy's videos coming out on YouTube. Him and I will we'll tell you guys the
dive
whole
on in on that subject.
Yeah.
Back to the restaurant and reenact it. Let everyone live it.
Oh man.
The ending was good enough, but everything else in the restaurant we'll redo.
Right.
Oh man, thanks again, Randy, for being on with us tonight. I think we've covered some really cool stuff. People got to see some awesome snakes, which everybody loved and recommended that Joel and I do that more. Have our guests pull out some snakes. So thank you for just jumping in there, grabbing snakes, showing everybody. Nothing better than some show and tell while we're talking about what we're talking about. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Schedule. I would have pulled out a lot more animals. You're saying, damn, it's like midnight.
Right. Well, that'll be round 2, dude. We'll have just
round
a
2.
show and tell session when you hit that new heavy hitter OFY.
Yeah, buddy. Exactly. And so everybody check out Randy's Facebook, Instagram. He's super personable.
Yep.
Check out his morph market. Reach out to him if you have questions. He's got awesome snakes, lots of knowledge. He's been around for a while, and he is one of the few that are willing to help you be a straight shooter out there. So reach out.
Yep. All those links are in the description as well to make it a little bit easier on y'all. So that'll be a quick and easy click away.
Good deal. Thanks, Joel. And a little bit of house cleaning for Joel and I. Normally, like the following week, we would have a recap of tonight's and then be announcing our next guest. Joel and I are going to take a couple weeks off for the holiday period. I know everybody's time is valuable. People are spending it with family and friends and people they love and care about. So we hope you guys enjoy your holiday break. We're going to enjoy ours, and we're going to come back in 2020 with renewed vigor. And here we go.
Yeah, Randy, you are our final guest for our season. So thank you so much for that.
Really, closing out the season.
Yeah, closing out.
Bottom of the barrel sooner or later. Really quick, guys. And in ending this, I'm sure you both might know that you see all these guys on Instagram and Facebook that have given away snakes. You got to like their page and tag like 5 people, and you got to go do all these things just to get them likes, and someone's going to get a free snake. And you don't even know if that person even knows how to take a snake. 9 times out of 10, that snake could be dead or, given away or something. So what I did was I basically put on my page, I can't remember everyone I sold snakes to, but I started telling people to get a hold of me, to add their name to the list so that if they bought a snake, I'd be giving away snakes every year to someone that I know would actually take care of the snake.
Right.
Spent their money on one. So, like I said before this show, that I'd give away a snake on this show. So,
wait,
Did we lose him
Worst
again?
time ever. Literally.
Oh no.
Literally.
Oh my goodness. At least his hat is like it's not all the way cut off, so we still get the DCR up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elegant's like, oh, if I give away.
Oh,
that's
if I
what I
give
just
away.
heard.
That's what I just heard.
So Randy's keeping us all. He has not disconnected. This is how still he can be, building anticipation for his giveaway. Right? He's not even blinking or breathing. We might have to check on him in 90 seconds, but
Cliffhanger, yeah, big cliffhanger. Classic.
It's rigged. He said.
It is rigged. Oh, it's me again. I'm back.
It's you.
Hey, everybody.
That was too good right there. All right, you guys. Thank you for staying a little bit longer with all of us. We've had almost 90 minutes of fun tonight. So make sure you harass Randy about something free he's giving away.
Yeah.
You're going to have to check his info out to find out what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Hit him up right now. Go to his Instagram, DM him, and see what the heck just happened.
Definitely. All right, guys. Have a good night.
We'll see everybody later.
See y'all.